Hey guys, Type Zero. Now, one of the major things about kind of creating your own productions is obviously automating some of your plugins. For example, if you want big sweeps or whatnot, it kind of gives your music that extra special oomph, so to speak. So, if you haven't seen the how to add in a VST and a MIDI channel video already, go jump back to that one real quick. It's like a 2-minute video in terms of learning how to do this. Right now, I've already got a plugin loaded up. There it is. We got a nice Zeta plugged in. It's already picking up MIDI information from my controller keyboard here. And over here is the filter control. This kind of dictates what frequencies are allowed to get through from the oscillators, the things that are actually generating the tones. So if I click this little cutoff one here, this is a very popular one, you'll notice that the sound gets much bigger. Kind of widens up, lets you kind of do a nice rise. So now when you're kind of creating your own arrangements and whatnot, you can't always be twiddling all the knobs all at the same time. So what is actually really popular is kind of being able to draw it out, so to speak, on the timeline. So some plugins come pre-assigned, others don't. Now what the assignments do are essentially there are a numerical value that the DAWs and the plugins understand for control information, and we call them CC, continuous controls. So for this specific plugin, if I right click on it, I can actually add in a MIDI control. I'm just going to select 74 for the sake of 74. Now right off the bat, it really doesn't look like anything happened. Now if I go back to my my main window here, there's a little drop down, and this is something that a lot of people often miss. If you click on the little arrow button, these are your automation control tracks. So I can click on, say, the volume one, for example, and I can change what I wanted to use, what I wanted to control. So I can control some of the inputs, the channel strip, which we covered a little bit earlier. If you have any inserts such as reverbs, EQs, and whatnot, they would show up here. If you click on the more, you actually get all of them kind of listed out. So depending on the plugin, sometimes they'll be known to the DAW. So in this case, Zeta +2 is known to Cubase, but it's not always the case. Sometimes you might have to go to the MIDI channel and actually see all the CCs, all the continuous controls. Now we labeled cutoff as 74, so if I scroll down real quick, go find 74, and I click OK, now this controls this knob. Now make sure that you activate the read and the write to be able to actually draw into it. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to create kind of a short pattern for us to work with here. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna go with big notes. Keep it nice and simple. Something kind of like that. Just a nice little octave bass line. I'm going to copy that over a bunch of times. Perfect. So now, if we play this back, not really a whole lot going on. But if I go in and use this MIDI channel control here, and again, using the draw tool, or as we covered earlier, we can use the Alt quick key, just quickly turn us into draw mode, we can actually go in and start drawing in what the automation is actually going to be. So if we play this back now, now you can hear it. It's kind of controlling the plugin. We can kind of go and make some more drastic changes. Now it's automatically going to be snapping based on where your keys are. So we're gonna go into free edit mode here. That way we can just kind of drop them wherever we want, and just kind of make this a little bit more drastic so that we can hear it a little bit easier. Something like that. If we go back to our plugin here and we start this over, you actually see the knob moving. And that's how you add automation, continuous controls to a MIDI plugin. And this applies to just about everything in Cubase. If you want to add it into to an insert effect, such as if you want a reverb to suddenly get more and more pronounced, you can automate the amount of reverb size, or the what we call the wet and dry amount. If you want more of the effect drowning out the original tone, or if you want more of the original tone over top of the effect, all of this can be controlled directly through these little drop downs, and you can add as many and as many and as many as you want. And so long as you've got that read and write turned on, you're good to go. Once you're done writing something, you can turn write off. That way you don't accidentally mess something up. But that's personal preference, and you kind of go at your own pace on that one. So that's automation in Cubase 7.5.